What is going on, guys? It is RS Vaughn for the Chair Guys podcast. I'm with my co-host.
Anthony Spiked.
Yeah, what's up? And today we have a very special guest. Why don't you
Another special guest.
go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Rexzy.
Rexy.
Let's preface something real quick. Let's give a backstory to our bro Rexy for those not in the know. One time, this was during Guap Chat era, I would say. My bro Rexy just came into my replies one day. No one, I don't think you had like barely 100 followers. You had like no followers. You're just trying to get into music Twitter, and you were just like, "Yo, can I join the group chat?"
Yeah, man. I was in hip hop Twitter at that point.
Yeah, you were in hip hop Twitter, and we were like, "Oh, who is this dude?" And just as kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, almost like a joke, we let you in because your profile picture is way too iconic.
Yes, dude.
It's a classic profile picture.
Absolutely.
So we had to let him in. So, and then ever since then, Rexy's just been one of the legends.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Ever since
We
then.
straight up built an empire, dude.
Yeah. A lot's going on. Rexy, bro, you were mentioned on Guap Tape, but you're not even on it.
Dude, I know. I'm literally just behind the scenes.
Yeah. No, and then Rexy's always, then once he got into music Twitter, his endeavors went about, and now he just listens to.
I've just straight up
crazy-ass
evolved
music.
because of y'all.
Yeah, you're like a different level.
I owe it all to y'all.
Beast.
You've reached an iconic status in the community.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're an avant adult. That's a tier up. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Avant adult, because you know when
yeah.
it's like avant teen, like you're experimenting. Avant adult,
Yeah.
like that's
You already
real.
know.
I'm serious about it's serious
exactly.
at this point.
That's serious
Yeah.
shit, dude. Like,
No, 100%. But at this point, guys, it's time we get into our first album. It's our new drop. Actually, pretty exciting, and it's God Don't Make Mistakes by Conway the Machine. So, gonna be super exciting. I'm actually gonna give the floor to Vaughn. Do you want to take this one?
yeah,
You interested?
yeah, I'll take it. So, I'm a big Griselda fan, I would say. I mean, not like a huge, like, super fan or anything, but I love me some Griselda. I love, like, Boldy James, Westside Gun. I love Benny as well. I kind of slept on Conway. I never listened to a full album from him until now, and I think I always underrated him. And this album kind of showed me like what I was missing out on. I think this album was really, really just like a great hip hop album, like all around, like every aspect of it, from the production to the lyrics to the features, just delivers. Like it's definitely not one of the most boundary pushing albums out there. Definitely not even in the Griselda scene is like very experimental or anything. It's kind of that Griselda sound, and like I think what Kanye does best, like brought to the forefront, just done very well for 12 tracks. I really enjoy how he gets kind of personal and like introspective on some songs, talking about like his dead kid, and there's some really deep shit. And I liked a lot of the lyrics. I liked some of the songs were just like kind of classic Griselda type bangers, like Lil Wayne and Rick Ross song, and John Woo Flick with Benny and Westside Gun, and like I don't know. I think it was just a really enjoyable album all around. I loved all the features. I loved all the beats. Yeah, like I said, nothing boundary pushing, but definitely a very strong entry into the Griselda catalog, I guess. So
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree. I feel like Conway, honestly, like he is. I will say he is like one of the more underwhelming members of Griselda, because I've listened to pretty much everything, like past from King to a God. So I've listened to From King to a God, If It Bleeds It Can Be Killed, and La Machina. And like La Machina is honestly like one of the worst like Griselda
Really?
projects. Like I really don't like that. So I've always just kind of like put Conway to the side. I've shoved him to the side because like he doesn't really interest me compared to some of the others, like Boldy and Westside obviously being kind of the face of Griselda at this point. But with this project, I was like, okay, this was a nice surprise, just kind of a nice drop, because like unfortunately, in all honesty, other than Westside and like Mock Homie, which I know isn't in Griselda, but like he's in that sphere. Those are the only two artists I really look forward to, and I'm like kind of at the edge of my seat and excited for when they drop. So with this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into it. Let's just see what we can get out of it. And I was pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of like amazing tracks on here. Like I mean, Tear Gas with
Yes.
Lil Wayne and Rick Ross. Like, it's so weird how those two rappers, Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, just kind of sometimes when they feel like it, they have like an amazing verse, amazing guest verse, you know. But like on their solo music, it's sometimes lackluster. Like Lil Wayne's past albums haven't been all that
Well,
great, but then like
yeah.
a verse like this will make up for it.
But
you know?
I feel like,
it's still
I
insane.
feel like they're two of the best feature artists out
Exactly.
in the
No,
past
and that's
few
what I'm
years,
saying.
especially Lil Wayne. So
Yeah. Yeah, no,
when
exactly.
you see
And
them on
like
a
Rick
song,
Ross.
it's like
Mhm.
shit. Yeah, you know you're getting.
Yeah,
something.
because it's crazy. Because like usually, if we think about it, like Rick Ross typically got like better features, but like Lil Wayne kind of
I don't.
I'm not gonna lie,
I'm
I
gonna
like
have to
it.
disagree
I feel
with
like-
that, but
really. I feel
Yeah.
like Lil Wayne had the better verse on here.
Really?
honestly,
You know?
I think Rick Ross might have had a better verse on here, but I think Lil Wayne is more consistent in general.
think so?
Yeah,
I feel like
but
Rick
I don't
Ross,
know.
you know,
I love both of the verses on here. It's kind of close.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clear
You know, I
favorite.
think Lil Wayne on this album was the one feature that kind of caught me off guard because I don't think it kind of reminded me of the other Conway song with Eminem. If y'all remember that, Eminem's feature. I think Lil Wayne's bars were just not made for the beat. I think he went way too fast. I don't think he went that hardcore with it. I think Rick Ross was perfect, absolutely perfect for that beat. So I don't know. I think Lil Wayne kind of took away from the song. I don't know. I think he could have wrote it different.
I can
definitely
hear that
wrote a better
'cause
verse.
Really?
definitely the first time I heard the song, I didn't get into his verse right away because he has like that kind of like offbeat, like he's like trying to catch up to the beat, like the beat's too slow for him, and he's like going too fast over it. But
Right.
it did grow on me, but it's definitely like not one of his best verses, and I definitely think like
damn.
yeah, maybe
Not 'cause-
this beat wasn't
Not
exactly suited for him, so I can hear
that's
that.
exactly what I loved about it though. Cause,
Yeah,
like, he was just,
I agree.
he
Like
was going really fast, and so like I loved it. Like on first like listen, like I was like, oh damn, that's crazy.
yeah,
Because it's like I don't know, man. We're talking about Lil Wayne here. I got a soft spot for Lil Wayne. I still like a good some of his albums. It's just like his output like lately just hasn't been the best. But another surprise I wanted to talk about was on track 4, Drum Work.
yes,
7XVE.
yes.
Genius.
I was gonna point her out. I loved her feature, dude.
She
killed
did
it, dude.
fantastic. Surprisingly, I for some reason like I didn't even think like that would. I thought that was the male rapper's name, but then I had to search it up and I was like, oh, that's her name. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm gonna have to check her out because she did like, wow, she did great.
Yeah.
She
no,
matched the
killed
style
it.
perfectly. Like
yeah.
Definitely
She
within
might
that
have had
sound.
my favorite feature. It's kind of a close call because I enjoyed most of the features
Yeah.
a lot, but I loved her
Yeah, there was
feature,
the-
and I love Jay Skis on that song as well. That was probably a
yeah,
highlight.
both of them
for
did
me.
like that song. Just bar none is like one of the best. Because unfortunately, like the only feature I don't like on here, and we got to get this point out the way, is and it's not. It's just because I don't care for it. It doesn't mean I don't. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't care
What
for
you
it. Is
say?
Keisha Plum.
Really?
I
What?
don't care for the poem. It's like a little. It's much.
Damn,
It's-
man.
I don't
You're
I don't care
silly,
for
bro.
it.
Wow. Wait,
I'm
Vaughn,
not saying
you
I
too?
dislike it. It's just that like, okay, it's,
Man.
it's
I
there.
loved
you
her
know?
feature. That was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
that's fair.
I've always been a fan of Keisha Plum on Griselda albums. Every time I hear her, I think she has a really
Yeah.
cool style, especially because
Yeah.
they don't usually have features like that. She's like the one that comes in and does that kind of
She does like a
spoken word
little
type shit.
haunting spoken word,
Yeah,
just like
and I
elaborate
feel like
bars. I love that.
This
Yeah.
beat was like made for her. I feel like this is the best time, like the best way she's been utilized on a Griselda song. Like the way it comes in, the atmosphere is just perfect, and she comes in. It's like almost like cinematic. The way, I don't know. It was just really cool to me. But
Yeah, I just unfortunately it just doesn't do much for me.
Damn.
Like, the story in and of itself is just kind of like, it's fine. And like that's why I say I don't dislike it. I just don't care for it. It's probably like the weakest feature.
that's
So
fair.
I thought you were about to say his mom
fair.
on the last track. I was about to be fucked up. No,
Oh,
stop.
that's
nah.
come on, bro.
Nah, his mom. No, I couldn't say that.
That's
That'd be
fucked up. That's fucked up.
But not like all the features were honestly like really good. Like I don't think there was a single bad feature. And like especially with West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher coming in on
Yeah.
on John Woo Flick. Like if that track did not have them, like it'd be missing out. That track like needed them in my opinion because like that was a perfect beat
Yeah,
that like
yeah,
I knew West Side Gun could slide on. Like that's what I wanted.
I
to
think
hear
every
going
Griselda
into the
album
moment.
needs like a track with the three of them on
yeah,
it, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a
pretty much.
staple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean that just gets me more excited for like what West Side Gun might do this year or what Benny might do this year. So yeah, it's always kind of
Yeah.
nice to see where they're at. And also another thing I really liked about this album that kind of I don't see too much is how like kind of soulful it was. There was a lot of really like cool like soul in some of the tracks. Like Wild Chapters was really cool. I like that song.
yeah,
Chanel Pearls was really cool.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're talking about Griselda, and so I still want those grimy kind of like hard hitting beats. So even though I like the soul influence, it was something new. Unfortunately, it still doesn't like.
I felt like
those,
it was a
really
perfect
crazy
mix of
Yeah,
yeah. I really like the more soulful, low key songs, like, and especially when they got more introspective, like Stressed and Guilty were two of my favorite songs. Chanel Pearls almost sounded like if like Drake got on a Griselda song. Like the beat was kind of like
Yeah.
very like R&B, which makes sense because Jill Scott. I know she's a legend. I haven't really listened to her, but she did great on this as well.
yeah.
Rexy,
no, and-
I'm curious what you got to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I agree with y'all with like Kanye or Conway rather being like the weakest member of Griselda. You know, he always just seemed kind of like the old head in the back. I was just kind of like, I mean, like I love his
I
delivery.
mean, they're all old heads. They're all old heads.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. Conway just seems like kind of like an older guy, but
Yeah.
you know, La Machina. I've only heard like 4 of his things, and like La Machina was kind of like. I don't know. He seemed to go less in the hardcore route, more like a little more poppy on it, I guess. And that just did not seem to fit with his style. So I was just not vibing with that. But it's kind of crazy when I think about the change of pace from that album to this album. Like that album is like probably one of the worst like Griselda records, and this album is like probably like top 3, like top 5. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of insane to think, you know? Because like I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest things about this album for me was how he just straight up laid himself to bare. Like he just laid all his cards on the table, talked about all his trauma, all this shit, dude, and he pulled no punches, you know. And like he gave us the grimy shit, you know. He gave us the grimy beats, but he also gave us some respites of like nice soulful like beats you can bob your head to, you know. So I don't know. I just loved this album. I'm definitely gonna keep listening to it.
Yeah, man.
For sure. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree. There's some tracks I'm definitely going to return to. But yeah, I do like the soulful thing, and I just want to go back on it because like it's really cool to see that they can still do something different, and that a lot of these underground artists kind of aren't writing themselves into a corner and just kind of doing the same stuff. Because
Yeah.
like with how much output they have each year, you could get tired of their music pretty quick. I would think.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
they
I
put
think
out-
I think it's like with the Griselda, it's more about the wordplay and the delivery. But with
Yeah.
this album, it's about the actual lyrical content, you know, because he's talking about real
Yeah.
shit that happened in his life. He's talking about all this
Yeah.
trauma he's been through and how it's affected him and how he's like overcome this, you know. So I think this is really an interesting addition to the Griselda collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, and like I don't know, man, they're all just such great artists. The underground scene is doing really well for itself lately. Like within the past couple of years, the underground isn't really even becoming underground anymore. I mean, West Side Gun has like 2 million monthly Spotify listeners. That's pretty good in of itself. Excuse me, and I don't know. I just love their output as of recently. Like if we go back to last year, Hitler Wears Hermes 8 was fantastic. Both sides were great. I love
Mhm.
them. And it's just those kind of beats, that kind of stuff, like really just gives my appreciation and love for the old school. Like, because when I start to think about it, when I listen to the new school, it just makes me want to go back and listen to old school
Right.
shit, like a Gangstar almost. And I love that project. But that's what I love, that they still keep like. It sounds so goofy when you say it, but it's like they keep old hip hop alive.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds silly, but like it's still nice to see that like, oh, nowadays hip hop isn't just like trap music, and it's not just like
Right.
There's some
I
other
get what
shit
you're
that you can
saying.
come back
Yeah, I think they're definitely the best example of like keeping that spirit alive of like
Yeah.
competitive hip hop and like East Coast beats, grimy beats, like just that
yeah,
kind of
because the East Coast, East Coast
atmosphere,
production is like unmatched in the '90s.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just some crazy shit. And another thing, like, I don't know, just jumping around, like I'm just surprised as to like how every single feature was just like pretty good.
Yeah,
Especially because
no,
like Ti,
absolutely.
like Ti, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
when that
haven't
when was
heard
the
from
last time he
Ti in a
rapped.
while, dude. I was like listening to it, I
Yeah.
was like, wait, is this fucking like I hear like Southern, like is this Ti, dude? Like, and I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell? But I mean, he killed it, so fuck it.
The last song I remember from Ti from him rapping was like that one where it's like, if it ain't about the money, like that's the last Ti song I remember, and I was like, this song is
Yeah.
trash. Like that
Yeah,
song is trash.
yeah.
I didn't like it at all. But no, like everyone did really good, and overall, just like it sounds silly because it almost sounds reductive, but it's just the same old Griselda style with a little bit of soul here and there. So it's like, but even then, like same old Griselda is still like really fire.
I think
It's
this
not
is-
same old though. It's not same
Yeah,
old
it's
though.
not
like
exactly
like
same
Okay,
old.
yeah.
like
I
like when
think
you
it's,
listen to the lyrics though, that's the different thing, and it might be a little
That's fair.
subtle, but
I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah.
this is like a good beginner's Griselda. Like it's a little more accessible than like West Side Gun. It has more
Yeah.
lyrical content, but it still also has those bangers, like those hardcore Griselda staple type shit. Like it's just like a good package of everything.
yeah, you got
I think
mainstream
that's
features,
like-
you got underground features,
Yeah,
you
true,
got
yeah.
women features, you know, so that's
Female
definitely
rap.
refreshing
Women
to have,
features.
right? It's
Yeah, I
refreshing
gotta-
to have, you know.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
gotta ease into my women features every now and then. Like, yeah. No, I'm just playing. I get you, but yeah, no, I agree. And just overall, like, oh man, I love Griselda, and I look forward to what they put out this year. In fact, actually, like just not too long ago, before this project, Makami dropped again. I still gotta listen to that, but it was like a four track, I think, little
Oh,
project.
yeah.
So
Wasn't he
I listened to
charging
that.
$200 for that?
That's like every album, bro. Like, that's
Yeah.
that's every album.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to pull a Kanye
so, yeah.
or something. Yeah, I saw
Bro,
that.
Mock's been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
bro.
Has he?
Like,
Okay.
That's Kanye's.
Yeah,
doing, trying to
Kanye's-
do
Yeah,
ripping off
Kanye's the one
yeah.
biting. Okay, I
Oh,
see.
Yeah, exactly. But let's hop into favorite tracks. Vaughn, bro, give me your top three.
My top 3 is gonna be, I'm gonna go Stressed, Drum Work,
Okay.
and Guilty.
Okay, Rexy, bro, give me your top three.
Definitely Stressed. Same.
Yes.
John Woo Flick, or no, Stressed, and then Baba's with Keisha Plum,
That'd
and
be
then John Woo
Okay.
Flick. Yeah.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm taking as my number one song probably Drum Work, I think. Then I'm gonna take Tear Gas, and then probably, I don't know. I think Chanel Pearls. I love Chanel Pearls. But yeah, that's my top
Pretty
three.
nice.
But yeah.
Nice top
Moving
three.
along. Ah, goodness, moving along. We got it.
Why you gotta
We're
do
going
it
into
like
our
that,
Twitter
bro?
picked album. We have to get it away. We have to get it out of the way. It's,
Yes.
just want to say
yes.
thank you to Bryce. At A Coral Room on Twitter. We thank you for submitting this album. I'm gonna say it the nicest way possible. I will thank you for submitting this album. And this week it is Porter Robinson's Nurture.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna let Rexy take the stage.
All right.
Rexy, open up the dialogue.
All right,
What you
you
think about
know-
Nurture?
So let me start out with what I like about this, because
Okay.
I think this album has had a lot of potential. I think it could have been, like when I was first starting and I was like, okay, this sounds kind of like some intimate, like glitchy, like folktronica,
Yeah.
something cool like that. But then it just kind of gets ruined by the choruses and the vocals, like it had some potential to be like some cool experimental like folktronica or something, but no, like the choruses was like it just took everything away from it. It just sounded very generic and just kind of, I don't know, just kind of like inoffensive and like unconvincing, just pop. And I'm not really someone that gravitates towards pop anyway, so I'm probably not the best person like to ask how this album sounds. Only pop I listen to is like art pop or like pop soul or something like that. But
Fire.
yeah, I mean, it just wasn't my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I'll agree. I'm gonna go a little bit easy on Porter Robinson here because, I can get very violent and nasty about this album. I can go into, I can say some things and I don't need to say them. But like what I will say, what I do like about this album is that the cover is really good. I really like the cover. It's a good cover. It's a great cover.
Yes.
It's a good cover. Let's see. It's not a very big list of things that I like about this album.
The nature
the
sounds
first
are
song-
nice. The nature sounds are nice.
The nature sounds,
I'm a
but-
sucker for like field recordings when it comes to music. Like,
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, that is true. But I could then just go listen to like some ambient or new age or something. I will say, actually, the first track is really good.
Yes.
Nothing happens on it. It's simply just kind of piano and nature sounds.
Very
but
pretty.
It's very good.
It's a pretty song.
It's a pretty song.
Can't
It's pretty,
deny
and
that,
then
Yeah.
and then from there, we get into Look at the Sky, and then like I fall into the pits of hell. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I really like Look at the Sky as well, if I'm being honest. I like I've listened to Porter Robinson's other album Worlds, and I remember
Worlds.
I remember really enjoying it. I remember finding it like pretty nostalgic and just kind of a good, it's a little bland, but it's a pretty fun like EDM kind of just like a throwback, because I grew up on a lot of, well, maybe not grew up, but in middle school and stuff I listened to a lot of like Monster Cat and like watched like video game shit on YouTube with like a lot of that kind of music. So it's definitely nostalgic, and I think Look at the Sky kind of follows that trend for me, and I enjoy that song. The problem starts when the next song comes on, Get Your Wish, and it sounds the same.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Wind Tempos sounds the same, and then like every song sounds the exact fucking same, just with worse and worse melodies every time. I can't tell if they're actually getting worse or if it's just like the same fucking thing for the entire time, and it's so boring by the end. Like by the last few songs, I'm like struggling to get through. Even though I like the sound of the album, it's just like so grating after just like a few tracks. Like I don't know what happened, because like I really wasn't hating it at first. Like I was like okay, this is pretty cool, and then it just fucking it's just a frustrating album. Like I agree with Rexy, it had a lot of potential, and I think Porter Robinson is pretty talented. Like I like so many of the sounds and instrumentation and stuff like that. It's just the songwriting's terrible, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I enjoyed
yeah.
some of the interludes, like Wind Tempos and Dulcite. Like I was like 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, okay, this is a nice interlude, but then it's like boom, like some chorus. It's like, fuck, dude, like this is not what I came here for. Like this is why I don't listen. Like this is why I don't gravitate towards this, like type of stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly, and like. But that's the thing, though. For me, I felt like this would have been something that was up my alley almost, because I kind of like happy, fun, dance, jump music. Like, that's the kind of shit that I like listening to. But this just isn't it, because it's like the female on here a lot. Or actually, is it a female or is it like Porter Robinson?
Porter Robinson's just manipulating.
Okay, yeah, it's his vocals, right?
Yeah.
Because I know...
It's just pitched up?
Yeah, it's pitched up, and it's just like, it sounds so bland. Like, it sounds... so like almost like if it was like in a color, it'd be like opaque, like gray almost.
Yeah,
like that's how
it sounds like
I feel like
an anime intro type thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Except anime intros are sometimes fire. This just makes me feel like I'm stuck in like a changing room at Urban Outfitters for like an hour. Like I can't get out. Like it's just not a fun experience. And every time I look at the words do re mi fa sol la ti do, I just want to like punch a wall now. Like that song. I will never get tired of how much I dislike that song. It's frustrating to listen to.
It sounds like you're listening to the radio. It sounds like you're listening to the radio.
It reminds me of when I was like, in 5th grade and I had to do like chorus. Like I was forced to take chorus class. That's what it reminds me of. It just feels like I'm being like, it just feels like I'm like fucking like a kindergartner and this is what I'm listening to.
Yeah. It feels lifeless, but at the same time, it's like I feel like there was passion in this album, and I feel like Porter Robinson wanted to make something good. It just feels like to me like he had passion in like the first couple songs, and then he just fucking copied and pasted. Like he had to get an album done. Like that's what it feels
he
like.
just had to like wash, rinse, repeat.
Like
and
I just don't like at a certain point. It's just I don't feel anything. I just feel like I'm just like waiting for that.
And you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with albums like this that are serviceable for like the mainstream public that want to listen to like just stuff that they can vibe to, you know, and like, but this isn't the type of album that is serviceable for stuff like this, where it's like a music discussion where we pick it apart, right? You know, like this is good.
Also,
I mean, these are amazing pop radio hits, you know, like this is going to be great,
that,
but
dude.
it's like
that's
for
the
like
thing. I feel like this is so much more bland than even some other shit in the same.
some like Calvin Harris or something.
Honestly, like I would rather.
All right.
And even then, Calvin Harris has some hits though. Like
I
has
don't
some
know.
fire songs.
This is just like really bland stuff. Like,
yeah, it's just unfortunate too because it's like, bro, like literally like Sarah Bonito did like writing on this track, and you look at like the credits and there's like some like amazing names attached to this. Like
Really?
The Masakatsu Takagi, the person who made Kagayaki.
No way. Are they really?
Yeah, the person who made
Wow.
Kagayaki did
Okay.
they did what was it that they did? They did recordings for track 4. So like,
You know,
Like,
bro,
interesting.
I can totally
There's such
see
a
that though.
crazy lineup.
That now though, because like the intimacy of like some little like tiny like intros, like an intro to a song, but okay, this is cool.
yeah.
But then I get into the chorus and then it's just like fuck. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, dude. Unfortunately, unlike Vaughn said, I don't have nostalgia listening to Monster Cat. The nostalgia I have is like Trap Nation. Like that was what I was
I
on
love
Trap Nation
too.
Same,
I mean,
same.
this is different from both of those in a very
Yeah, of
fundamental
course. I just
way
like
too.
so I don't have that Monster Cat connection where I could be like, oh, this reminds me of like, you know, when I listened to that back then. So I just don't have that. So like right when Look at the Sky started, I was like, oh fuck, dude, like, are you kidding me? Upon my first listen back when the album first dropped, because I did actually listen to it the day it came out.
I think I did too.
Yeah, I
we
think
listen
you were
together? There. Yeah. I don't know.
It was me and Miles, and then I think maybe you might.
I think I was there.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, and just dude, it was just so. Dude, it was so grating.
So wait,
It's
what's
just- and
the
that's
hype
really what this album
of, like
becomes.
about this guy? Like how did like what was his...
I guess he was really big in the scene that he's in, and people really liked the album Worlds, and they thought it was like something insane. And then he just left for a bit. I genuinely, I don't know what the hype is around him because I'm not really like big on like the electro pop scene. Like when it comes to electro pop, we're talking about like Gorillaz, and we're talking about like I'm looking at like stuff. Some albums that come up are like Art Angels by Grimes. You have Bonito Generation. Like, so this kind of scene, I don't know. I was never really into it. And so I guess he's just really liked in the scene. I have no clue.
I have no.
man.
I really don't know either. But
I don't know. But people love him like a fuck ton. His fans are like crazy dedicated to him. Like there was a dude I used to argue with in the chat box the fucking day the album came out, and he's like still there like 3 months later. Like I see his messages.
Nice.
Like this album's been out for like over a year now, or a little under a year now, and he's still there. Like, bro, like move on. Like, I'm pretty sure he literally only created a Rate Your Music account so he could go into like contacts and type shit. So it's like I don't know. The fan base is really dedicated. I don't know like where this dude came from, but I mean, good on him. I guess like he has a good dedicated fan base. That's really nice. When he did the like release party for it, it was like a pretty cool. I actually watched the like visuals for it. That was really cool. He had like a festival going on. That was fine, but then I just listened to it on mute, and then I had like a better time. So yeah, I don't know, man. It just feels so colorless to me. It feels so corporate. Like it just feels like you said, Vaughn. Like they like his manager was like, okay, I like what you did here on this first track. We got to get an album out. Let's repeat it a couple times and let's keep going.
I mean, I'm sure that's not what happened, but it's just like that's the closest thing I can think of to like how it makes me feel.
It's just it's crazy because it's like it's overproduced. Like it's crazy to think that you could overproduce.
It's
something.
overproduced. That's definitely
because it's like you don't need this much. You don't need all these sounds that people aren't taking in. Like, I don't know. It just feels unnecessary at times with how
Yeah,
overproduced
and it
is.
sucks because there's
and I-
potential here. Because this is gonna
Yeah.
sound like blasphemy, but on Wind Tempos, I was getting a little bit of music for 18 musicians. I was getting a little bit of like I know,
What we've
but I
been
was
waiting
getting like a
for,
little bit
bro.
of like repetition and like
Yeah.
going into ambient. I was like, dude, okay, so like there's something here, but no, it's just like it seems like to me like he made the album and then he added in all the choruses because he wanted like sales or something, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's like, bro, the only thing that's stuck in my head from the album is like, look at the sky. It's like, dude, like, oh my god, dude, I don't know, dude. That's the only thing that sticks with me through this album. Everything else,
Yeah.
out of my,
I'm
out
gonna
of my
be honest.
ear,
Like, I like that song, and I don't even remember it that well. Like, I don't
Yeah,
even
no,
remember.
Yeah,
Like, I
because
only-
I think
I only
it
just
would be
remember
more
that.
memorable if the lyrics meant anything. It just doesn't really seem to mean
Oh,
anything.
Well-
don't even get me started on the lyrics because I was not
Yeah.
listening to
The
it.
lyrics
Like, you
just
could
are
not
kind of-
you
there
cannot
is
force me
connection
to like
in the
tune
lyrics.
in to
Yeah,
the lyrics on
there is
most of
connection in
this.
the lyrics. It's supposed to be like about like at times like about his dead brother, but like
Oh wow.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to pay attention to because everything is just so bland and surrounded by you that like, it's just like an experience that you kind of want to get over with. And
Yeah.
I've genuinely tried to like return to this and give it the benefit of the doubt. Be like, okay, maybe I was going a little too hard on it because through this podcast I've learned that like I used to like really dislike Aerosmith, but then when we had to, or not Aerosmith, AC/DC. But then when we had to, listen to that AC/DC album, I was like, okay, this is good. So it's like maybe it'll be like that, And then I returned
Yeah.
to it, and I was like, nope, I still
No.
can't stand this. Like I still don't like it. And like, bro, what's up with the only feature on this album? Totally enormous extinct dinosaurs.
Come on, bro. It's like
Bro.
some preschool shit, bro. I'm not trying to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, bro, like I'm telling you, this is like something that like a 7-year-old would enjoy and kind of get some love out of. Like, I could play this at like my little brother's daycare, and they'd have a nice little time.
yeah.
Like, and I feel bad because honestly, like I said, going back to the fans, they just seem like some innocent, nice ass people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Gordon Robinson fans just seem nice, and I don't mean to shit on your album. I don't, I no hate to you, but like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't care for it. But I don't know. Any other thoughts? Exactly.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
That's what this album leaves us. We
I
all
don't-
just shrugged our shoulders.
I don't hate this album. It's just like it's so boring. It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
It just I don't
At this
know.
point, yeah, I definitely will say I don't hate it. I just like, because it's like it feels wrong to hate on something like this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so just kind of like there and I guess innocent, but it's just that like
yeah, even
it's serviceable,
even
but
though-
it's not like something
Yeah.
that gives
even
any
towards
reason
the
to
end of
hate
the
it.
album, like, yeah, exactly. I'm not like banging my head against the wall, like God, please make it stop. I'm just kind of like, dude, I could be listening to something better right now. I'm just not.
Right.
This is just not
yeah,
for me.
it's a waste of an hour. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, like I mean, like I said, that's what this album is gonna leave you doing, just shrugging your shoulders, like, okay, that was whatever, I suppose. Okay, but yeah, I guess favorite tracks, does that even exist? I guess Vaughn. Do you have
I
favorite
mean,
tracks?
Lifelike is my favorite, and then Look at the Sky, and then those are the only
Yeah.
two I really didn't dislike.
Yeah,
So,
I'll take Lifelike, and then that's about it.
yeah.
I liked the
Rexy.
first 4 minutes and 17 seconds of Wind Tempos until the
Okay.
chorus came in. And then Dulcite did some cool glitchiness stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually fair. You actually you have some other tracks besides the first two that you cared for, so that's good. I think you're the first person to say they only like a certain section of a song, so that's cool. That's the Porter
Dude, that's
Robinson
exactly
effect.
how it is with this album, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel you.
yeah, I know, because my God, dude, just some of the vocals on here are just so like, oh, dude, it's drowsy, but it makes me drowsy. But moving on.
In
to-
direct contrast with this next album.
Yeah, in direct contrast, actually, the classic album, as picked by our special guest Rexy. It's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
see your thoughts.
Mm.
Yeah, well,
I'm not.
I don't. Okay, I don't know if I should open it up. I don't know if I should open it up, but I guess I will.
I think we
Um,
should hand it to Rexy if he wants to,
Okay,
because
okay.
it's his classic.
We'll give it to Rexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the album we're discussing, I'm sorry I've been taking so long to actually announce it, is Perfect From Now On by Built to Spill.
Yes.
It's an indie rock album, if you don't know.
Indie rock classic.
Indie rock classic. I've never even heard of this band other than just being on like Radio Music and online music circles. So, is it genuinely a classic?
Oh.
I had to grab it.
Ooh, there you go. There's the record.
I don't think it's a mainstream, but
Okay,
This
it's not really like a
it's
mainstream
pretty
classic.
well known though. I think
This is the
It's not
record,
Like,
yeah.
It's not like an obscure
Okay.
album.
So that's fair. So Rexy, why don't you open it up?
Yeah.
Why is it a classic to you? And just state your opinions.
Yeah, so I'd say when I'd first started exploring music, I was listening to what Spotify recommended to me, and like there was like that little section that said like indie classics or whatever. So like I think it was some like I forgot what the album's called, but it's another Built to Spill album. I think it's called Keep It Like a Secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I enjoyed that album. It was vibey, but at that moment I was listening to all the other indie classics like Darklands by what's the band?
I haven't heard that one.
Shoegaze.
Yeah.
Shoegaze.
And like just a bunch of shoegaze and really good indie. So like it wasn't like popping out in comparison to all this other indie classics. But then the one thing I like to do is I like to go on other people's radio music pages and look at their tens and like listen to that. So like with Anthony, I looked at his tens and I listened to Eurobeat Disney Presents Winnie the Pooh, and I love that fucking album. So
Yeah.
like you'll definitely find some gems doing that. So I was looking at Vaughn's
Yeah.
page and I was stalking his page and I looked at his tens. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Let me pop this on because I mean I've listened to Built to Spill before, but maybe they have some bangers on this.
Wow, you found this through me?
Yeah.
Dude, that's flattering, bro. I didn't
There
know
you
that.
go.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, I found that and I found the other French album that you like too.
Harmonium.
Some other stuff.
Yep.
Maybe even Basic Channel. Yeah, so I listened to this, man, and good lord, like I couldn't stop listening to it, dude, because it's just I don't even know how to describe it. It's like it's really good tension building in this album.
Yes.
Like they really take their time with everything, and it's really good releases of tension. The vocals are amazing. The production is amazing. Instrumentation. The songs have connection. Each song connects to the next. Like the lyrics are really good. I don't know. I feel like I could go on, but it's just super like powerful, but also re-listenable, which is something you don't find a lot. I feel
Dude,
like.
I completely agree. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, there's so much. Oh, dude. When I first heard this album, I was a little bit like definitely a little bit of a barrier to get into for me, and maybe you have the same experience with their other album. But I listened to this one first, and it's like I was kind of put off by like the mixing and kind of his voice kind of blends in a way that's not very like common. And
Yeah, I think
definitely
there's like a layering they do with their voice
Yeah,
that you might not
it's-
find a lot. Yeah.
there's a lot of layering in this album, but the more you listen, the more instruments you hear, the more layers, the tension building. It's just like there's such a potent atmosphere in like every single song that also carries throughout the album. And dude, it's just like the sound of the album. It's very like indie rock, but it's also very distinct. Like I haven't heard anything that sounds.
It's like post
exactly
indie
like
rock
this.
almost, someone could say.
Yeah,
You know?
there's-
It's like indie rock with tension.
Yeah, for sure. And there's just like I just love what they do, like as far as experimenting with song structure, and like Stop the Show just has like the first 3 minutes is just like a kind of like a slow like psychedelic sort of jam fucking thing, and then they get into like the song, and it's like one of the most bombastic like indie rock like in your face type of songs on there. And then I love how they have like I think Made Up Dreams goes into Velvet Waltz, as like they have like the little riff at the end, and then it starts up in the next song. Like just little shit like that is scattered throughout the album. You can hear like different layers of instrumentation every time you listen to a song. Like there's like a new fucking element that I hear. The lyrics are amazing. I love what he does with like playing with words, especially on I Would Hurt a Fly. Just like it's kind of simple, but I just love it. It's like I would hurt a fly. There's a mean bone in my body. Like it just like flipping those classic phrases. It just to me is just really powerful in the way it's delivered and just I don't know, dude. It's just an amazing album. I I would hurt a fly is probably like a top 10 song of all time for me, something like that.
I like Randy Describes Eternity a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's amazing for sure.
I think that's such a cool excerpt to use of some pastor describing, like, trying to size how big eternity is in people's heads. And,
Yeah.
like, I think to put into trap terms, there's a lot of good beat switches on this album, you know? Like, they always, like, they always
Yeah,
keep the beat
yeah.
switches going, dude. They keep you on your toes. It never gets repetitive.
For sure.
I guess it's time for me to talk
Yeah.
now.
All right,
Go ahead,
Anthony,
bro.
hit us with it, dude.
So I re-listened to it. You know, when I first listened to this album for Music Core Essentials month, I was not a big fan.
Fucking
I didn't like it at all. In fact, it honestly really annoyed me. I forget what I wrote for it. I mean, it was probably just fucking nonsense, regardless of what I wrote for it. But I just remember it was just so guitar-y, and it was just so like, yeah, I didn't write anything for it. I wrote like absolute fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I just it just it didn't do anything for me. I was just like, this is really annoying. I need to go listen to some drum and bass, and I gotta, you know, go do the electronic shit that I usually like, because that's still a majority of what I like, you know, the electronic kind of bullshit. But recently I've been kind of opening up to the guitar a little bit, been liking a little bit more shoegaze. I've been like dipping my toes into the water of like shit to get back into, because with this album, it still just doesn't hit the mark for me. Unfortunately, now I actually don't think it's bad. Like, I don't dislike it. It just kind of bores me. Because it's so indie rock. Like, it's so indie rock, in my opinion. Like I will give it that. If I'm going to think of an indie rock album, I'm gonna think of this, or I'm gonna think of like fucking like the Pixies. You know, like that's for some reason that's the two things I think of. I don't know why. I guess it's just because like my IRLs really love the Pixies, and then
is
here,
the Pixies
people
like even
online-
indie rock? I don't know.
I
actually.
I don't know. I
think
I
it
would.
could be
I mean, I
considered
feel like
indie
they're
rock for
in
sure.
that. They're in that. Are
Yeah.
they in the same ballpark? I feel like they are.
I don't
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like these
I
are
would
in the
say
same
so.
ballpark to me, but I don't know.
Okay, well,
Well,
okay,
I think indie
yeah,
rock
you
is
have, like,
such a broad term.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
indie is such a broad. Indie
You're
means
right.
independent band. So what the hell does that mean? You know.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
like,
exactly. So like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of listen to Pixies and or whatever. I don't know. But back to it, like, just the vocals are super, you know, in your face kind of. But then also the guitars are also really in your face. And I just think this is a little bit too much guitar for me. Like, this isn't easing me in like a shoegaze or like a trip hop would. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
with
I can
this,
see how
just-
this album could be polarizing, and you know, I think there's albums like
Yeah.
this that, like, one can objectively say is good, but it just isn't their taste. Like Igor, for me, like I can see how that album is good, but it's not my taste. Like, I'm not an R&B guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Igor. Like I can like I love Tyler, but I'm an early edgy Tyler fan. You know, I like that horrible shit that people
Yeah.
talk about. you
Yeah.
know? So that's what I grew up on with Tyler. So to see him evolve into this stuff is like I can see how it's good, and I can see how you can see this is good, but it could just be not your jam, you know. So I totally understand.
Yeah,
that.
exactly, and that's exactly how I feel. I think, like, obviously people love it for a reason. It has a really high ratings across like music sites in general. But with me, it's just that, like, I never really even grew up on like indie rock. I never grew like, my dad wasn't playing anything like that in the car. My dad was playing Kanye West. He was playing Dead Mouse. He was playing like a bunch of
Nice.
like trance stuff. So I never grew up on like something like a Nirvana or something of just like shit that might ease me into this a little bit more. So having to listen to stuff like this is just really like a drop in the pool for me. That it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to get through. And I've tried with Midwest emo. The only Midwest emo band I really like is the Brave Little Abacus. I only really like Just Got Back from the Discomfort. Everything else I've just kind of just pushed to the side and I don't really care for. And I think this applies. Except now I just don't think it's bad. Whereas I'm just kind of bored by it. By this, like, the third track, I'm just kind of like tuned out, and I'm just kind of like, okay, this is just kind of whatever to me at this point. But the first two tracks, actually, I like the first track a lot. Randy Described Eternity. I like that track a good amount. But then after that, I just kind of, it sounds dumb to say it feels wash, rinse, and repeat. But unfortunately, to like, I guess, an uneducated ear of indie rock
Yeah.
and just all this kind of shit, it just feels the same to me. And then I just kind of start to get bored when I could go listen to like Doo-Wop Kane or something. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel that way for a lot of albums on the top 100. Like that's what I first started listening to, like the Rate Your Music top
Yeah.
100 rated albums. So like, you know, I can feel that way for like a lot of classic rock type stuff for sure. So I totally understand.
Yeah. No, and I mean Vaughn. I feel like Vaughn grew up on this kind of stuff. Like,
okay.
if I'm wrong.
I did not grow up on indie rock, but
Yeah.
I mean, definitely I grew up on more guitar music than you did.
Like
so
Radiohead.
I guess
I
that's,
feel like
I
did
grew
you grow up on Radiohead?
no,
I did.
not at all. But
Oh, really?
I grew up
Yeah.
on I mean, I grew up on like my mom is really into like Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, okay.
My dad played a lot of like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. So, I mean, I wasn't like into this specific sound, but I guess compared to you, definitely I'm more adapted to just guitars, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds silly, and I know
it's
it
very
sounds dumb.
silly. Like you're just like not a guitar fan. Like it's like
Yeah,
too much
like I
fucking
literally
guitar.
just don't like the instrument of the guitar. Like I love
Uh,
like almost everything else.
Yeah,
I just,
that's just ridiculous
it's
to
just-
me. But I don't know.
it's just that like when I'm sitting in like a room and I'm listening to this shit, like I don't know, bro. I don't know. There's just something about it. Maybe I'll come around to it one of these days, and I'll be like a big fucking indie kid and like whatever. But like for the time being, it just doesn't really do much for me. And like literally, actually, now that I think about it, the only song that I grew up on that like I can faintly remember, like, oh yeah, this is like a song. It was a Led Zeppelin song, "Stairway to Heaven." That's
Yes.
my mom's favorite song ever.
I
and
don't really listen to Led Zeppelin, but I still
I-
love that song. To be honest with
I don't
you.
really care for it, and that was the thing. So because it was always just like, can we put Kanye back on? Can we put Flashing Lights back on? So that was the thing, and that's
Yeah.
always just been my thing about.
What do you think about the song
like indie
"Gorgeous"
rock.
by Kanye? Because
Gorgeous? Gorgeous is fire.
Yeah, but he has a guitar sample, and that's
Yeah,
I
it's
was
a
just
guitar,
curious.
That's
bro.
true. That's true.
The whole
that's
song
true.
is guitar.
But it's got like rapping on it.
Yeah,
so
but there's-
at least, like, can this album at
I
least
don't
maybe
know.
have some 808s on it or something? Like, if this album had
Yeah.
808s on it, I
Yeah,
feel
we
like
need
it would
someone to
be
do a
crazy.
trap Built to Spill Trap remix for sure,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
yeah, like Trap Nation built to
hell
Spill.
yeah,
That would be
collab of
crazy.
the century, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. But just like with this, it's just like I don't know. I don't get much out of it. But I'm not gonna put someone down if they like it or like it's just it doesn't do anything for me.
Like Porter Robinson, I may put someone down. You know, like if you like that, I might put you down for it. You know, honestly,
I'm
like-
gonna like if you like Porter Robinson,
You're
I
fine,
might
bro.
give you a like I might give you a little stink eye if you like Porter Robinson, but like I'm not gonna be like not be friends with you or something.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
I'll still be cool with you, but I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be like, okay, bro. But if we're talking like someone, I will just be like, nah, I'm not. I can't fuck with you like completely. It's like Twin Fantasy, like.
That's so
Well, I'm
cap
not
because
starting
there's
this-
so many people on Twitter like.
That's
nah,
true.
Come on, bro.
That's true. That is cap. And so even
No,
then,
the
like,
only
I'm just
the only
bullshitting.
artist is Melanie Martinez, bro. Like I'm very
Oh yeah,
generous.
Melanie Martinez. Yeah.
That is a genuine red flag, bro. Like I'm just gonna
Really?
put that
Yeah,
out
if
there.
you like Melanie Martinez,
don't know.
I
That's
listened
like
to
sus,
I listened to
bro.
one of her albums,
Yeah.
and it was like Deconstructed Club, and I was like, this is just kind of boring to me.
Really? Okay, well I don't know, but I listen to like the K12, like some of the songs on there, like
Yeah. Nah, bro. If you
It's
like
just
Melanie
sus, bro.
Martinez,
I don't know.
you are stuck in the past. And you're 12 years old, bro.
Okay,
Like,
this is news
I
to
don't
me.
know, bro.
I
I
didn't
don't
know.
know.
I mean, I've
Well,
only
I
heard one of
think
her
it's-
albums one time.
I think
so.
it's mostly the visuals of her stuff. Like she's very obsessed with like school children.
it's just trash, bro.
It's
like, it,
weird,
like, bro.
bro. Like it's very
It's weird. It's
Mm.
uncomfortable to
I don't
look
know.
at.
Okay,
like-
I'm sorry for that sidebar. That was
yeah,
I don't
no.
wanna get
I mean,
too stuck on that. But.
it's fine, but like, yeah, no, like, I don't know. like I said, this album is fine to me. Like,
Okay.
it's just kind of there. It's one of these albums that are just gonna be there. Maybe one day I'll come back to it and start to love it, but for now, like, it's still at this point in time, just a little bit too much guitar for me. A little bit too.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of albums that are like good guitar for you.
You know what?
There's probably like some albums we could show you that would like get you into it, and maybe you would appreciate this more.
Yeah.
But
No, but
I
like
don't know.
I've been listening to trip hop recently, a good amount of trip hop stuff, like Hooverphonic, and I started listening to Poison Girlfriend. That I like. That stuff is cool. But like this, you know what? I'll give it a 5 out of 5 on the guitar scale. It's got a lot of guitars. Like if I were to give it, like that's the only 5 I'm giving it, 5 out of 5.
Okay.
It's got 5 out of 5 guitars.
Nice.
So yeah.
I
But
definitely
for
see
now-
how it could be. There's so much. I think the mix is a big part of it as well, because there's like 2 different guitar takes at all times, like in different years, and there's like so much layering and shit. Like it could definitely be hard to get into, even if you like rock. It might be like a little. It's just very weird. In some
Well,
ways,
I think
so-
they play around with dissonance a lot in this album
Yeah.
too. Like they have, it adds a lot of
Yeah.
texture
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
depth,
'cause-
depth as well for me.
yeah.
Yeah, bro, because I'm looking at like the top 10 charts on Radio Music for like indie rock. Number 1 is In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, which actually, funny
Yeah.
enough, I love that album.
Yeah.
That's so. That
Funny
makes
enough.
no
It's a-
sense.
it's a
bro.
good
Like,
album,
That's like,
though.
I love the vocals. The vocals are funny as fuck.
That
So
album
that's-
is very easy to hate. I think
that's
very
actually probably one of my
polarizing.
favorite rock albums, but it's like it's very easy to see why someone would hate it for the vocals.
Just
and
because
stuff.
of the vocals, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
It
it's
does
just
not.
the
but you
It
vocals
does
see,
not
are very
seem like
easy
an
to
album
hate.
that you would like, Anthony, because it's
Yeah.
But I love the
it's
vocals. and
very
that's the
like
thing.
the
Like,
vocals are so fucking weird. Like it's very
Yeah.
like theater kid type shit.
It sounds like a
it's
teenager,
it's
right? It sounds like some.
It's like a
Yeah.
theater
Yeah.
play like going on. Like it's very.
but that's
like,
the thing. Like I love that. Like I just kind of love how it all is and how it all comes together. So that makes me like fuck yeah. Because like especially some songs make me like want to like pump my fist. And then like you look at like the Glow Part 2, that album puts me to sleep.
Dude,
Dude,
The
that album
Lonesome
is
Crowded
something crazy.
West,
Come on, bro,
I
come
can't
on,
stand Modest Mouths.
I mean,
The
indie rock is
Strokes,
very hit or miss for me as well. But you're
Yeah.
naming some of my favorites here, so I don't know.
Interpol, Turn on the Bright Lights.
No,
is
okay,
some
I
hot
don't like
ass.
that one.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it was
some hot
okay.
ass.
It was okay for me.
And then it's like
I'm a
everything
fan.
else.
Like I'm a fan of like Microphones and the Strokes, but Pixies and
I mean, like I
like
think
once
I think
you start getting into like Pixies and Arcade Fire and like I'm
I
kinda
think I like more indie
know
folk,
that.
like reaching like indie
Mhm.
rock. Like Microphones do that perfectly.
yes,
I think.
Microphones and Airplane kind of do that.
I also love
ooh,
Fleet
indie
Foxes.
folk. It actually gets a little bit rougher for indie folk when I look at it, because then you start to bring in like Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah.
Sufjan's fire,
Fleet,
bro.
Fleet Foxes, dude.
Fleet Foxes are
I
amazing,
love,
man.
dude. I
don't
love
know,
dude.
bro.
Helplessness Blues is amazing.
I don't understand the hate on Fleet Foxes, bro. I've never understood.
Bro, it's because Fantano likes Helplessness Blues. He gave it a 10, so people are not allowed to
That's
say that they
facts.
like it anymore.
That's
You
facts.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, they have to be.
Elliott Smith, I actually kind of like. I kind of like
Yeah,
Elliott Smith.
yeah.
I like
Elliott
Elliott
Smith was
too.
like either or was pretty good. But yeah, no, this just isn't my realm of being, I guess, and I'm completely fine with that.
But y'all give
At
it a
this point,
listen.
I'm just kind of
Let us
yeah.
know your thoughts, okay? Because this is apparently a very polarizing album. If you don't like guitars,
It may be it may be a
careful.
bit polarizing. But also,
Yeah,
I know
maybe a
some
bit
people
polarizing.
that are not into indie rock that actually like this album too. So it's an interesting one. It's kind of like a
mhm.
it's really weird that you say it's like you think of indie rock and you think of this album, because it's kind of the opposite for me. It's very much like
an
what's the
outlier.
word, outlier, yes, in the genre for me. But I don't know.
I just think
It's
it has
it's
those
interesting.
crazy, grand guitars almost at some points, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. I just don't get the hype. of
I
it.
love me some
It's-
guitars, dude. I'm like a black metal head, so I love me some fucking guitars.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing. I kind of like black metal though. Like, there's some black metal stuff that I can get down to, but I think it's just because of the way they're played differently.
I feel like there's a black metal record for everybody. Like, there's so many different types of it, like Death Heaven, and then you got just like your raw shit, like Dark Throne. Like, there's just so many
Yeah.
different types of black metal.
Yeah.
I just like there's a record for everybody.
Yeah, because I've tried like one of my favorite black metal projects, and it's like atmospheric black metal. It still kind of counts. I feel like is like Murmurer.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's what I was thinking of.
That is fire.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of
That is great.
experimentation on there. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
field recordings and like noise and stuff. So yeah, I love that one, dude.
Yeah. That's something I could handle more with like a guitar,
Well,
because there's like other
yeah,
stuff going on.
Because
Right.
I feel like you might like guitars more as just an atmosphere, like as like a texture.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, I do.
I know you
100%.
love Loveless and
Mhm.
what was the album we were just talking about? Shit, I don't know.
Neutral Milk Hotel. In the airplane over the sea.
Oh well, that's not a good example. But I know. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I have no
yeah,
idea.
and
Taste
I don't know,
is
it's
so
just-
weird, bro. Like it's so hard to pinpoint
Yeah.
you sometimes, bro. I don't know. With
yeah,
just,
because
like,
I gotta keep people on
Yeah,
my feet.
'cause-
Because then
'cause
there's also like a punk album.
you
that
know
I
your
like,
wheelhouse, but like outside of that, it's kind of hit or miss.
Well, yeah, it's hard to find where
Yeah.
an album where the guitar isn't like the main like dominating instrument, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
where a guitar is just a complement to the music, you know. It's hard to find actually.
Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
hard to
It's
think
just
of
like
off the top of my head. at
whenever
least.
I venture out of my circle, exactly like Vaughn said, it's just that like it's gonna be very hit or miss. Like I'll love an album like Itakoma Hits by Otoboke Beaver, but then I'll like hate like My Chemical Romance. Like I won't care for something
Well,
like that.
yeah.
You know, it's like
Those are very different albums, but I get what you mean. Like it's
yeah.
just like
Are they both not? I'm sorry. Are they both not punk?
I mean,
Aren't they both? Are they
not
punk
really.
albums?
Okay, dude. Like if you're asking the difference between those two, I don't really think like
Yeah, you see,
That's-
that's the
that's
thing.
just-
I'm just not educated.
they sound
You could
completely
ask me about
different,
like
dude.
you could ask me about like the like different subgenres of drum and bass, and I'll break it down for you. But like if you start to ask me what's the difference between indie rock and indie folk, like I'm putting a gun to my head. I couldn't tell you. I
Right.
couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
that's just my thing, and
that's
I think
fair.
it's just inexperience, and maybe with time I'll start to love it a bit more. But We'll
Yeah,
see.
I think that happens to me with a lot of genres where it just takes a while to like you gotta acclimate yourself to it and maybe just revisit some of the classics later.
I think electronic is the main culprit when it comes to differentiating genres and subgenres. It's so hard. It's like, oh wait, what's the BPM
Really?
of like this song? Oh, this isn't this genre because the
yeah.
BPM is different. It's like
yeah, that's true. That happens with
Once
drum
you
and
get
bass,
into very niche like nitpicky kind of
Yeah.
subgenres, it's like by BPM and like drum
Yeah.
choice and like I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, no, exactly. But let's move into favorite tracks. Rexy, bro, give me your top 3.
Randy described Eternity, definitely my favorite track. I Would Hurt a Fly, definitely. And then probably tie between Kicked It Into the Sun and Velvet Waltz.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Bomb, bro.
That's probably gonna be very close to mine.
Yeah, give me your top 3, bro.
I mean, all of them, but like kicked it in.
Yeah.
I Would Hurt a Fly, definitely number one. Kicked it in the sun, and probably Randy described Eternity. So
Okay. Yeah. Just give me Randy described Eternity. I'll just take that song because everything
It's a good
else just
pick.
kind of
It's a good
becomes
pick.
like a blend to me inside. Just kind of it just becomes like one big blob. So yeah, but nonetheless, like I don't know. I kind of hope that this podcast will help me appreciate the guitar a little bit more. Because like I said, it's just very hit or miss for me.
yeah, I think
love-
it already has helped
Yeah.
you broaden your horizons a little bit. So
Yeah, because like for some reason I love something like Highway 61 Revisited.
that's another one. Yeah,
That's super
another
guitar.
odd album.
Yeah.
That it's just weird that I like, but
I
don't
feel
know.
like that kind of supports my texture argument because I feel like like a lot of the main riffs and stuff aren't really guitar. It's more just kind of like an instrument that's in the background, like just playing away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. We have to see. I'm still growing.
we'll see
you know,
the character
Yes.
arc.
Still becoming a nuanced film or film music listener. My bad. Nuanced.
Down bad.
All right. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to give a big shout out to my boy Todd Edwards.
Oh,
Todd
dude, I
Edwards,
need
love
that
that guy.
CD,
For
bro.
sure.
I need
Yeah,
that
bro.
CD.
I got 2 classics. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? Like 2 back-to-back classics.
Damn.
But yeah, I know we want to give a big shout out to our boy Rexy.
Of
We
course,
thank you for
bro.
coming onto the podcast.
Absolutely,
bro.
absolutely.
Anything you
Genuinely
wanna,
one of the goats.
anything you want to plug or just say?
Yeah, is there
closing,
anything you wanna
plug?
closing thoughts.
Nah, man. Just fucking explore music, guys. Get out there. Don't be like Anthony. Okay. Get out
Yeah.
there and explore.
Okay.
explore
I explore
Yes.
music, bro. Like,
That's facts. No,
if I didn't want to explore music,
Nah,
Music
I'm just
Core
fucking with
Essentials
you.
Month.
You
would not be
explore
a thing.
music, but you explore like your like domain, like which is respectable.
That is respectable.
I like to be educated on the things I like, you know, and then not so educated on the things I don't like. So yeah, but yeah, no, big shout out to Rexy. I mean, honestly, maybe go check out his radio music if you want some crazy.
Yeah,
That's
radio
true.
music
Check
slash
out his
it's
Twitter,
This dude-
check out his radio music.
Yeah, this dude's always putting me on to some really crazy shit. So yeah, no shout out to Vaughn. I don't really like you right now. So yeah, that's understandable. But that's gonna be it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Anthony. That's been Vaughn, and it's been Rexy. And we'll see y'all next time.
Hell yeah.
Peace out.
Peace
All
out.
right, y'all. Peace out.